Man City versus Arsenal. The big one is on Sunday. And in true lost in possession fashion, we have decided to do a best 11 for the two sides as it currently stands. Let's get things kicked straight off with the goalkeeper position. I'll start this one. Raya, yes, he's been looking all right, but he's not the guy yet. So I've gone Ederson. Do you guys disagree?
Yes, because basically the way that Raya's performed for the past 2 years has been brilliant. And weirdly, I'm always in the boat of Ederson is the best keeper in the world for Man City. But it's sort of like, if you look at Alisson, for example, at Liverpool, he's an overall better keeper, but wouldn't be as good as Ederson is for City. So that's kind of the boat I'm in. And I think for more teams, Raya would be better than what Ederson would be. So that I've gone with Raya. I'm not showing my bias, but I do love Ederson at the same time.
All right. I didn't expect us to disagree so early. This is good. Reese, what side did you end up on?
Yeah, I found this quite a hard one, actually, because Raya did have the better season, the more clean sheets, and he is an outstanding goalkeeper for us. But if Ederson was offered to Arsenal, would they take it? Yes. If Raya was offered to Man City, would they take it? No, I don't think so. Hence why I've gone for Ederson. I think Ederson overall in his contribution recently has been world class, and I think he's shown why he can be the difference. Raya is outstanding, and he's shown that too, but I've gone for Ederson.
Yeah, makes sense. Left back position. Who have you guys gone for? Reese, we'll come straight back to you.
At left back, I've gone Nathan Ake, actually. I went for him because I think he's been outstanding in that position. I think he's been consistent. I think he's been exactly what City need, and I don't think Arsenal's left back position is particularly strong at this moment in time. Calafiori looks like he's the answer, but I can't judge him yet. So I think Nathan Ake has been outstanding, and I think he deserves to be, in that conversation for some of the best left backs in the world.
Fair. Jamie?
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you because I think it's Gavardo, because he's the one who cemented down the left back position at City, the back end of last year and the start of this season. Ake is brilliant, by the way, and I think us getting him for 40 million off Bournemouth at the time was seen as paying too much for a player, but he's been worth that all the time through. But I think Gavardo he could be in. I think he's easily in the top 5 best left backs in the world. I'm not saying that's an impressive feat, because I don't think there's actually that many great left backs at the moment, but I think he's one of the best in the league, at least. So yeah, he's my pick, and I think Arsenal's are lacking in that position until you see what your sort of Californian's going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, you see, I would have gone Gvardiol myself, but I see him as more of a centre back, as good as he's been at left back. Maybe that's the Football Manager player in me who had him in that position, but yeah, I think he's done great to be at left back. Can't knock him.
Yeah, so I went with a more recent pick. So I went with Gvardiol as well. Maybe recency bias, you could argue. I don't disagree with your points on Ake, to be honest. I don't personally reckon the top 5 thing. I don't necessarily agree with that. I wouldn't necessarily put him as top 5 left backs currently, but we have to, maybe that's a different podcast. But yeah, I'd go. Can't speak. Gvardiol. He's been quality since being in that role. He's transitioned well from a centre back to a left back, and obviously City, still winning titles. So yeah, Gvardiol makes the cut. Let's go centre backs. We'll do 2 at a time to make it easier. I have gone with Saliba. Of course, many would say now, particularly Arsenal fans, he is one of the best centre backs in the world. Some Arsenal fans would say he's up there in the top 1 or top 2. So look, what we can't do is disagree with how good he has been for the last couple of years. Has to make this side for me. I think where maybe some of us will disagree, or definitely some viewers might disagree, is Diaz alongside him, not Gabriel. Diaz, I know he's not had as much hype recently, but I think he just does his job. Like, he's always in the team, and he just, I don't know. I think he gets less hype and PR than he used to, but he's still absolutely unreal. So that's kind of my logic.
He gets less hype because he does his job, like you said. If you do your job, you don't need the hype. Yes, he come into it off a big hype and he's delivered. And that's why personally I've put Diaz and Saliba myself. Gabriel's been great, but as we saw against Aston Villa, he can do stupid things and make silly mistakes. And I don't think Diaz does that. So has to be Diaz for me. I think he's an absolute rock. The guy has been an absolute machine. I think he's in the conversation for probably one of the best centre backs even of all time. He's that good. He really doesn't get the credit still. So
look, with the sort of Diaz talk, you got to remember he's come into the league and he's come into Premier League and he's not won the title since being here. So it shows how good he is and is fundamental. I've agreed with you both with Saliba and Diaz, but your number threes seem to both be Gabriel. He's not mine. You've got to be looking at Akanji. He's been more consistent, done more really he's doing more for City in defence. And overall, the problem I have with the next player I was going to mention is John Stones. I think John Stones overall is probably the best centre back out of all of them, but he gets injured too much, unfortunately, and that's why he's probably not in either of your thoughts, and that's why he's not in my team. But yeah, so I think we're all in agreement, Saliba and Diaz.
yeah, this is actually a hard one. Like, I personally put Gvardiol over Gabriel, and I would put Stones over Gabriel personally. That's how good they are.
I put Gabriel over Kanji personally, but that's probably Stones. I don't know. Stones is a tough one. I guess if he's fitting on form, you'd probably chuck him in the conversation as well. So there you go. A couple of disagreements there. With regards to the right back, again, I'll kick things off. Ben White. Walker is obviously coming towards the end of his career. Maybe dipping off a little bit. Maybe that's harsh because he keeps winning the league. But obviously, you've got Rico Lewis potentially coming through now. Not seen enough of him yet, really, to be in this conversation for me. So Ben White. Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
Disagree. I've gone Walker. I still think on his day, he's the better right back out of the three that you've mentioned. Rico Lewis is way too early. He's fantastic, and I can't wait to see the rest of his career. And I'm sure it'll be at City. He's a absolutely fantastic player, especially on the ball, and at his size, he puts himself about. Ben White has been brilliant for Arsenal, and the sort of criticism Arsenal got for his price at the start when they bought him, he's well worth that. And to be honest, probably I think he got into the team of the season last year, and that was pretty much deserved. But overall, I think Walker is the better right back.
Yeah, even though I do think Walker is the better right back, I'm going to sound a bit hypocritical. I did go Ben White. I always stuck up for him when he signed for the 50 million, even though he was originally a centre back. The fact that he's become a right back is impressive. I just think he's been outstanding for us. Like, I haven't seen a right back for us that good for such a long time. So to have him in the side, like, it's been a marked improvement for what we were used to. But again, yeah, you can't knock Kyle Walker, can you? This is literally a team where both players are as good as each other.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well, just on that point, because we're talking about Ake, we're talking about Gvardiol, and we're talking about Ben White, and all three of those players were centre backs, and now we're highly regarded as great wide players.
Just want to say, you've got to remember that Pep and Arteta work together at City.
Yeah,
it's not a coincidence that they're both doing it, and you've got to remember what they do is they try and have one that bombs on and the other fits in as like a third centre back. It's by design, and they're picking the right players to be able to do it. So it's it's a good analysis point, George. But it's not a coincidence that they're turning these players into right backs to be better defensively, and then let another player with more creative play go bomb on.
Yeah, and I think considering City and Arsenal currently are the top two teams in the league, this might be a trend we start to see in the next 5 to 10 years of clubs trying to replicate it. Let's move on into the midfield. So obviously we're doing 4-3-3. Should we go through these one at a time? I'll kick things off, and I'll be stunned if this guy is not in both your sides. Best CDM in the world currently. Maybe that's another debate, but it's got to be Rodri. I don't really need to say much on him. The stats speak for themselves. When he's not in the side for City, they don't normally win. All his accolades, Euros is chucking in there as well. He's just different level. So should we start with Rodri? Is Rodri not in either of the teams?
Future Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri, you mean? Of course he's in our team.
Trying to manifest that.
I don't need to manifest it. When you don't lose a game for nearly over a year, go and win your league title, be instrumental to that, and then go win the Euros. Messi won a Ballon d'Or for a lot less. So I don't think it's unfair if he's winning it. Rodri's not, at least in that conversation. But yeah, of course Rodri's in my team.
Reese, have you gone rogue?
No, I'm not stupid.
Cool. So Rodri's in your team. What about? We'll come straight back to you, Reese. Then, what is who is your next midfielder?
Yeah, my next midfielder. I've gone for, of course, Arsenal's most expensive signing, and that's Declan Rice. I think he's been outstanding for Arsenal. He's exactly what £100 million can get you. So I don't really need to say much how important it is to that side. I know we've discussed how he, without him in the side, this team are lost. This is Patrick Vieira vibes. When we didn't have Vieira, we were stuffed. So this is how good Rice is and how Rice has been. So he's been an absolute, pleasure to have in the team. So yeah, he's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. He's got to be in the team for me. Him and Rodri, you're not getting past them if they're in the team together. Jamie, do you agree, or have you gone for a sort of more attacking midfield?
I've gone for more attacking. My Arsenal player is Ødegaard for the more sort of attacking way of it. I think if you're comparing CDMs, Rodri's ahead of Rice. So that's where I've kind of then gone, I want more attacking players. One that I think should get sort of like a special mention, because I don't think he'll be picked up by you two in the next pick, is Kovacic. The way he started this season has been absolutely brilliant. And at the moment, Rodri shouldn't get in the team over him because of how well he's performed. And I think that's a big sort of statement for him. Just as a special mention, he's not my third pick, but I might as well say my third pick now, and that is Kevin De Bruyne. He is the best attacking midfielder in the world, in my opinion, still, despite his age. Yes, he may not be able to play 90 minutes every week now, but when he is on the pitch, he's still one of the best players in the world. So yeah, De Bruyne is my third pick.
Yeah, I did the same. I put KDB as my third for every reason you just mentioned. He's still best, one of the best in the world, even coming towards the tail end of his career. So yeah, he's got to be in this.
Yeah, De Bruyne is a no-brainer, isn't he? That is, to be honest, he's one of the greatest players the world has ever seen. So,
right, let's move on to the attack then. See if we can disagree here. Let's start with right wing. Who did you guys go for and why?
I went Saka. I went for Saka because obviously I've seen him play plenty of times, and I think his importance to Arsenal can't be understated. I think the guy has improved. I think he's got better and better, and he's leading the side for Arsenal at such a young age, and he holds that responsibility very well. So I've gone for Saka. I think he's been brilliant for us. I'm sure there'll be some disagreements here, but yeah, I just don't feel I can argue it anymore. I had to go Saka.
I've agreed. I've gone Saka on the right. Saka's been brilliant for Arsenal, and he's the talisman for Arsenal overall. I think even more than Ødegaard. Ødegaard might be the captain, but Saka's the one who's more consistent over the season. You've got the criticism of the big games, but I think you can say that about nearly all of the Arsenal team. Until they get over the line and win these trophies, coming second is fine. Being very consistent over the season, very fine. But you want to get over that line, and that's the sort of little bits missing at Arsenal. But he's absolutely fantastic player, and I think that will come with time. Him getting them trophies.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, to be honest. And again, you look at what the alternatives are at City yet. You know, Savino coming in. Do we know? We just don't have enough information on him. He looks like a baller, but you can't compare him to Saka. And yeah, look, I know we said a bit about the big game stuff, but at the end of the day, you look at Arsenal when they're struggling, when they're winning, like he's the man they're turning to for a bit of inspiration to win a foul, to win a free kick, get in the box, and come up with magic. So, yeah, all in agreement on Saka. Let's move to the left side. I'll start again. Hopefully, we disagree to some degree here. I've gone for Foden. Obviously, I know we've gone KDB in the middle. Some people say Foden can be in the middle, but you've got to get him in this team, really. Martinelli, I'll let Reece discuss. Trossard, to be fair, recency bias, but Trossard is looking very, very sharp. Maybe you could chuck in, Doku, Grealish. I don't know, but yeah, Foden's the man, player of the season. Got to be in this team somehow for me.
Obviously, it's Foden, the Stockport Iniesta, as he's nicknamed. He's the guy who's got to be in it. I know we're putting him on the left, but if we were actually playing this team, he can float and do what he wants, kind of thing. We wouldn't do a Southgate and then go stay very wide and restrict yourself. That's why we can put him in this position. I think that makes the best overall team. So yeah, Foden. I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, look, it's no secret my love for Trossard, but realistically, who is a better player? And that's Phil Foden. So Phil Foden was a player of the year for a reason, right? He's going to score you more goals. He's going to give you more assists. And I think he's more capable of magic. That's not being disrespectful to Trossard. I think Trossard's a match winner. But Foden is more than a match winner. Do you know, if that makes sense? So overall, Foden is who you want on your team.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap things up. I'll try and ask this question and keep a straight face. Havertz or Haaland?
Are we not looking at Gabriel Jesus? No?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No. Of course it's Haaland, the absolute machine. Back-to-back hat tricks. And he's done it time and time again. He's been in the league for 2 seasons, and he's already hitting 100 goals when it's taken Welbeck 15 years to get career 100 goals. And I don't want to disrespect Welbeck, but it's just a comparison. 15 years to nearly 2 and a bit years of Haaland doing it in just the Premier League and Welbeck having his career goals. It's ridiculous what Haaland's doing. And I think I said it in a TikTok, he's actually showing that he's the best finisher in Premier League history nearly. Like, it might be a little bit too early over 2 seasons, but so far the record he's producing suggests that.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. And when you look at the hat-trick stats as well, it's just stupid. He's going to break that record in probably, I don't know how many games, maybe 100 games or so less.
Hat-trick ever after 8.6 games. Every hat-trick after 8.6 games is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is the Premier League a farmers' league? Because we'd be saying that elsewhere. Just what Haaland's doing.
Yeah, it's true. He's made a mockery of Premier League defences, to be honest. Obviously, he's doing it in the best team in the world, so there is that argument. But he's going above and beyond what you'd expect a top striker to do at Man City. So yeah, impossible to argue that one. Reece, surely.
Yeah, it's a full house, isn't it? The guy only needs one shot or one chance and he scores. That's what makes you a world-class player. He has no footballing ability, Erling Haaland. He knows where the back of the net is. That's all you want from a striker. I don't get why people criticise him, calling him League One standard, etc. The guy got 30 bloody goals in the Premier League. That's all he's there for. Put the ball in the back of the net. Who cares? That's what he's for. And it's as simple as that. Look, Havertz has been great, but first of all, he's not a striker originally. And yes, he's a match winner, but he's not Erling Haaland. That's the difference between one of the differences between the two sides at the moment. So
yeah, I do have to say it is funny seeing the touches stats compared to Haaland. So I think after the first 3 games, I saw a stat of he's had something like, I think something stupid of like 38 touches, but 7 goals. Like, that's utterly, don't quote me exactly on that, but it was something ridiculously low touches wise, and 7 goals after 3 games. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. We are in full agreement on the attack, but there was plenty to disagree around the keeper and defence. So as always, we've had our say, but we want to hear from you. Hit us up in the comments with your perfect combined 11. But as always, like, comment and subscribe. You know the drill.
Here we go.